Hey, everybody, welcome to our webinar. My name is Paul Slack. I'm the CEO and Chief Strategist of Vindy Social. We're a full service digital agency that works primarily with B2Bs and really helping them grow their business online. And I'm really excited to bring this topic to you this month. And I'm going to break this into basically two parts or two videos, if you will. And really, the whole topic is, why is social selling really the next big thing? And the reason I'm excited about this is I've been in digital marketing for over 20 years. In fact, back when I got into digital back in the late 90s, we didn't call it digital back then. We called it the web, we called it the internet. One of the things that I jokingly say often is, right after Al Gore invented the internet, I was basically right there evangelizing and helping businesses think about how to leverage the internet to grow their business in 2000 and beyond. And why I was so excited is I could see that this was a fundamental new thing. Like, for those of you that were around in the early and mid 90s, there had never been anything like the internet before. And I really believed it was going to fundamentally shift the way that companies interact with their customers, sell things online, generate leads, all those things. And so I was excited back then to jump in because I thought this was going to be a big deal. Now, to my surprise, and maybe to your surprise, as I was going out and talking to businesses and senior executives of businesses saying, man, you need to get a website, you need to get online, you need to do these things, often I would hear this: Paul, why do I need a website again? We know who our customers are. I have sales reps in all the major markets. We go to all the right trade shows. I really don't think I need a website. Now, in 2019, that sounds pretty crazy, but go back into 1998, 1999, and this was a legitimate question that people had. Now, looking at it today, we know fundamentally we have got to be on the internet if we're going to be successful. And I think we're at the cusp of something just as powerful in 2019 as we were in the late 90s, and that is social selling. I think social selling and getting your sales reps engaged in social media, interacting with their customers, building community and connections is going to be just as powerful for your business right now as the internet was to businesses in 98 and 99. And so my goal in this session today, or in these two sessions that we're going to talk about, are really three. I have three goals. Number one, that we really convince you that your sales reps, and if you are a sales rep, that your point of presence matters. That what you're doing on LinkedIn and what you're doing in social media is going to make a big difference to your success as well as to the success of the company that you work for. Number two, I want to give you some rules of engagement. What are the things you need to be doing in social media to be a successful social seller? And I've broken it into four key stages that we'll cover in the next webinar. And then finally, I want to give you some tips and ideas to really maximize your time because I know we're all busy. Time is money, right? So let's make sure that we're engaging in social media in a way that maximizes what we're doing there. And so why is this such a big deal? Well, I think we all get that social media has fundamentally shifted the way that we interact with each other. And this truly is, interacting with each other is truly the currency of our lives, right? The other thing that we need to understand is that attention is the currency of our culture. And really, it's all about supply and demand of attention. And the reason I've got a picture of a cell phone here is if we're going to win the attention battle, we've got to win the battle on the cell phone. And the dominant thing that we're doing on our cell phones today, in fact, 50% of the time that we spend on our cell phones, we're spending in social media. And so you've got to get your head around, if attention truly is the currency of our culture, and where attention is happening is on the mobile device, and inside the mobile device, it's happening in social, that's where we need to be. Social is really the most powerful networking opportunity ever created. So for those of us on this webinar, just like me, that were out there selling in the early 90s, that's how I got my start. There was nothing like social as a way to find and connect and interact with targeted customers, with potential customers. It truly is the most powerful networking opportunity ever created. Now, we've got to approach this just like we would relationships in the real world. And one of the things that I see reps struggle with is they've got a different attitude about how they interact on social, like sites like LinkedIn, for example, or Twitter, than they do in the real world. But at the end of the day, we just need to approach these digital relationships the same way we would approach real world relationships. Because at the end of the day, we are all humans behind our profile pictures, aren't we? And really, what we do online needs to become an extension of who we are. Our personalities. This is one of our account managers up in Minneapolis who loves to ride mountain bikes. I love that picture. Our interests. I'm a big hiker. I love to go on backpacking trips. And really, ultimately, the qualities that make us human. But the problem that I'm seeing today in social media, especially B2B social media, i.e., LinkedIn, is that so many sales reps are trying to treat LinkedIn like Tinder. You just can't do that. Now, I personally have never been on Tinder, so I can't speak exactly what goes on there, but I've certainly heard the rumors, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing in social selling. It's all about building and nurturing relationships. So we need to stop using LinkedIn like Tinder and start thinking about becoming a social media concierge. Now, think about the word concierge and really what that role is. Now, we've all been to hotels, I'm sure, where there's been a concierge. And think about their job. It's not to sell anything, right? Their job is to make sure that you have a great time in their hotel and that you have a great time in the town that you're visiting. And so when we think about ourselves as a social media concierge, we need to have that same attitude of when we run into somebody that has an interest in our industry, that we help them have a great time. And we do that by answering questions for them, pointing them in the right direction, sometimes pointing them to our products and services if that's right for them, or sometimes pointing them to somebody else that may be in a better place to help them. And so let's take the attitude of not being on Tinder, but take the attitude of being a social media concierge. And so, as we wrap this session of why we need to be in social selling, be sure to jump on to the next session where we'll go into the 4 key stages that will walk a salesperson through what they need to be doing day in and day out in social media. But let me just kind of wrap and just remind you of the ways that Vindy Social can help. We can certainly help you optimize your profile or optimize your sales rep's profile. We can do some on-site training. We can help you with sales enablement, which basically just means helping getting all your sales reps connected and engaged with your social content and help you spread the word. You'll discover why that's so important on the next webinar. We can also help you run integrated campaigns. We can help you with content marketing. And really the next step in all of that would be just to schedule a discovery meeting with us. And you can reach out to me many ways. Here's my phone number. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you've got my email address there too. So be sure to watch our next video where we get more into the weeds and talk about what are the 4 key steps to social selling engagement. Hope to see you there. Thanks, everybody.